Hello ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Jim Makes a Cartoon. I'm Jim and I'm making a cartoon. This time I'm putting together some shots for the third episode of Dictator Cat, but in case you missed it, we're actually on the fourth episode. You can find links to both those cartoons on the right side of the video, as well as in the video description. I had to rush to put that fourth episode together because I was running behind on my monthly schedule and I didn't want to keep scooting back further and further. Thus why there were only 2 weeks between the third and fourth episodes. Though that kind of schedule is definitely not something I'm going to be able to keep up with. Anyway, like I've said before, I am really happy that people seem to be enjoying Dictator Cat. I'm still getting some good feedback from people at work and everything, and it's just been a series that I enjoy doing in general. It's been an interesting storytelling and animation challenge so far. Right now I'm figuring out what I want to do with the next episode. There are one of two scenarios I could put forward that I've kind of already started to form. Anyway, this week I kind of want to talk about current events and their odd relationship to internet sharing. My newsfeed on my personal Facebook page has become this really bizarre combination of pop culture, animal videos, video game news, and really hardcore, passionate political rants. Like, you scroll through a little bit and it's like, hey, this guy rigged up some LEDs to his computer that flash in sequence to a song, awesome. And oh look, there's a puppy that sneezed. Our nation is doomed because some politician introduced a bill to the Senate that requires everybody to eat a baby once a year. It's this really interesting combination of the incredibly important and the totally irrelevant, and it's all wrapped up in this package of hyperbole. Like, the puppy sneezing isn't just cute, it's apparently the cutest thing ever. The politician introducing the baby eating bill is introduced as the worst thing ever, although honestly that probably is about the worst thing ever. But you get my point. And while I get why this kind of emotional manipulation really gets some people to move towards action, namely the clicking on these links to get more ad revenue for these various websites, for me it honestly feels like an emotional saturation. Like, everything's made into such a big deal that I feel like there's a contingent of our population who just feels like they don't want to handle any of it. When we're faced with dozens of issues and movements that apparently are amazing and dozens of other issues and movements that are apparently absolutely terrible, it can be kind of paralyzing. Now, people are going to have issues that they're passionate about, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the constant bombardment of this is awesome, and this is awful, this is awful, this is awful, I think it's gonna start causing people to burn out and not want to participate in the community that is the internet, or even worse, in their actual real life communities. When every single political story online that you see is of utmost urgency, eventually you become numb to it and nothing is urgent. When anything good and positive is spectacular all the time, nothing is spectacular anymore. I kind of fear that our society is going to eventually become numb to any issue that isn't presented to us in some sort of extreme emotional form. Like, I've ranted about clickbait before, and honestly, clickbait exists because it works. People click on the links that have a million exclamation marks or talk about how something is the best or worst thing ever. And eventually all these sites that advertise in that sort of way are going to have to keep ratcheting the emotion even higher and higher and higher, until eventually it'll be almost impossible to distinguish what's an important issue and what isn't, or what's quality entertainment and what's garbage. Now, I'm not saying that people should not have strong emotions about the things that are important to them. What I am saying is that it's important to keep things in perspective. Yes, there are a lot of important issues in the world that need people's attention, but positioning every issue as the most important issue that needs your utmost attention right now, I personally think is going to just make people more apathetic. Now, to be fair, the internet is still a relatively new entertainment and news source, and the content creators out there are still trying to find out the best ways to get people engaged as more and more people move away from television and newspapers. And hopefully this hyperbolic, clickbaity time in the internet's history will be looked at as kind of just a silly little bump in the road to a much better future of both journalism and pop culture. But what do you think about all this? Do you think that all the big content creators out there like the BuzzFeeds and the Huffington Posts out there are going a bit too far with how they attract their audiences? Or do you maybe even think this might be a good thing, bringing attention to issues that might not otherwise have any kind of attention at all? Please let me know in the comments section. I'd really love to have a little discussion about this. Alright, that's all for this week's episode. Thanks so much again for watching. Once again, remember to check out Dictator Cat episode 4 by clicking the link on the right hand side of the video or in the description. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you feel like this is a discussion worth having, please remember to share this video wherever you can. And I will see all of you amazing people next Friday.